Greetings, I'm Solidus-Skully, and welcome back to the bonus bonanza of Resident Evil, where we're basically showing off the endings, and a little surprise with the Sega Saturn version. But yeah, in the meantime, this is pretty much the ending if you have Jill and Chris survive. No explosion, and yes, Jill is having a nice little rest. Aww, that's lovely. And meanwhile, Chris sits down with a 1,000-yard stare, scared by the horrors that he bear witness in that there mansion. And anyway, I mean, they're not all silent, so yeah, here's the ending if Jill and Barry survive, with dialogue.
Your wife?
Yeah, my wife and kids, they always wait up for me. Even today, the oldest daughter. I'm sorry.
Don't worry about that. I know you must still be alive.
Well, isn't that sweet? Yes. And now it is time for the battle game. A Sega Saturn exclusive, and you must defeat all the enemies. And enter into the systemless... Wait, what? Oh, the mysterious zone. Well, fuck that, completely screwed me over. Anyway, this is Jill's alternative costume. Yeah, something I kind of didn't show off at the end of the, well, final video. Basically, yeah, when you finish the game, you basically unlock a special key. Doesn't matter what stipulation or what time you make it in the finishing game, just as long as you finish the game, yeah, you get the special key. You unlock that little, costume closet in the mansion, and that's where you get to pick your costume. Kind of surprised they don't do it from the menu, but yeah. Also, zombie Wesker, so he did die at some point. Therefore, continuity is secure between this and Code Veronica. I'll get into the rest of the battle game a little bit later, but this is pretty much the brass tacks of it. Just get guns, shoot zombies, basically survive the hordes, survive the horror, and, well, yeah. It's basically a little arcade mode when you finish the game, going through different areas of the mansion, lab, and underground caverns, and bada bing, you do the thing, and Jill has stage clear. It's Capcom at its finest, dudes. Also, I just want to point out that, like, the soundtrack for the battle game is probably, like, at its most, Mega Man X. I don't know, it just has that kind of MIDI vibe about it. But in any case, this is the Chris ending. If Chris survives alone, Rebecca can die, in fact, during Chris's scenario. And, yeah, this is him all alone. Also, kind of a bit of a conflated issue here, because, like, I mean, they... Like, in the original edition of Resident Evil, like, they censor Chris smoking in the intro, but is this scene left unchanged, or did they edit this? Because, like, here he's lighting up a fucking smoke, so if he could do it here, then why is he censored in the intro? Whatever, I have no idea. And again, I might as well point out, since I probably won't have anywhere else to talk about it, but, yeah. They also use the dub actors for the live-action scenes, which seems kind of bizarre in like a cheesy Japanese ninja movie kind of way. I don't know. But anyway, to talk about the battle game, again, you have several different areas. You pretty much just, well, fight very specific zombies, but there are two special encounters in the Saturn version. The first of which being Zombie Wesker that we just eliminated, and of course the Golden Tyrant, a much more powerful version of the Tyrant you fought in the main game, except this time it's gold and, well, all you really have to say is, oh my god, it's naked! So yeah, pretty much same strategy as before, you're just giving it the runaround really. You do have more limited supplies, so again, the battle mode pretty much does take the whole, here's the tools you're given, try and survive the onslaught. And again, it's a pretty fun and addictive game mode, very arcadey, but it does also increase a bit of replay value that you can use to pretty much spend your time. I don't know if this was included in other versions of Resident Evil, but it's the one that I think I'm most familiar with in the Sega editions of the games. Because, I mean, Resident Evil 2 on the Dreamcast also had a battle mode where, bizarrely enough, you could actually play as, like, Chris, who had his own exclusive Resident Evil 2 model that was very nicely detailed. 3 obviously had the Mercenaries mode and pretty much introduced that for the series going forward. Code Veronica also had the battle mode as well, where you could play as Steve Burnside, so... yeah. I guess that's kind of how it evolved. Something exclusive for Sega fans. Yeah, but yeah. Actually, you're gonna be noticing a bizarre discrepancy, actually, between Jill's outfit here, because, I mean, she seems to have, like, you know, the similar, like, sort of bob cut style that she's always had in terms of her hair, but, like, the live-action actress had significantly longer hair, so, yeah, probably discrepancy between art style and character. Tee-hee, hoddle-ha, the Tyrant did a flaming fart. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty much all I really wanted to show off in terms of gameplay content, so I could pretty much just talk over the endings. And, yeah, they don't vary too significantly. I mean, it's pretty much just everybody escapes and reflects on the adventure depending on who you saved or who you took with you. So again, like, I mean, it's nothing, like, to the degree of Silent Hill or Kagero Deception 2 or anything, but, you know, it's enough, and again, it does kind of show the variances in gameplay situations and, of course, the various outcomes that you can have during your experience, which, again, as I mentioned throughout the commentary, is instant replay value just add water. Like, I mean, again, it's nothing significant, but again, it's enough to keep you coming back, which is a similar effect I feel is achieved by, like, the whole Nemesis choice system in Resident Evil 3. Like, again, it doesn't completely change the game outright, but it does make your gameplay scenario vary on a case-to-case basis, and have certain things affected, like how you could have Barry Burton in the helicopter in the end of Resident Evil 3, or not, based on a decision you make. But again, all the same, it's, again, like, Resident Evil is a very fun game. I love the original so goddamn much. The remake slightly less so, but again, it's not enough to really impact any sort of diminishing returns for me. So, yeah, it's been a fun commentary. I'm gonna miss this terribly. Although, then again, I do plan on covering the remake at probably a much closer stage than you might think, but that'll be for next year. Dear God, why won't this Tyrant just bloody die? I mean, it's not, I mean, at this point you'd be forgiven for thinking that Jill's a bully because, well, it's not doing anything to her, it's just having a bit of a wander, and Jill's just blasting it. Maybe he just wants to give her a cuddle. Did you ever think about that, my dear? Well, no, really, because that Tyrant is dangerous and gold. Well, I mean, it's called the Gold Tyrant, but I don't know, its flesh looks a little bit more, soured, so it might be a fan nickname, or it might be its name in the files. Although, I suppose it'll probably be coded in, like, Japanese or whatever, so whatever. I don't know, I haven't really ripped the data from this game, so I wouldn't really know. It's just the Gold Tyrant because, I don't know, maybe it won first place in its Tyrant School Festival. This was somebody's pride and joy, and now Joel's just destroying their science homework like an Amazon. Oh well, I mean, I suppose if there is anything else I can say is that, compared to the PS1 version of the Tyrant, which basically looks kind of a bit pish, I love the additional detail that the Saturn version gives to its monsters. Like, again, I wouldn't quite call it PlayStation 2 quality, but it's pretty good. And now that the stage is clear, down I go. Yay, victory trumpet theme in the traditional Mega Man-ish sort of way. And a closer look at Jill's delicious new threads. Yeah! Now we can go off and beat Sigma. Because Mega Man. Woohoo. Anyway, this is pretty much the ending you get if Jill is completely alone. It's kind of weird though, actually. I initially remember this ending being a lot more melancholic than I thought, because I seem to remember, like, I mean, from when I was much younger, like, Jill was crying her eyes out at the prospect of losing all her friends and comrades, but no, she's just tired, pretty much lets her hair down and goes, phew, what a day. So yeah, misremembering on my part. But on that note, I am Solidus-Skully, keep it new metal, Tormented Souls is coming up next, and yeah, here's a bit of Chris and Rebecca action, because you never saw them in the main game at all. Catch you next time.
Rebecca?
Sorry, Chris. I am.
You did a really good job. This case was just too weird. This case was